Good evening. Today is the second day of the coronary and structural course, and we are in the endovascular TV plateau. And we have the privilege to have here with Mr.
Benoit,
who is the Medtronic TAVI and congenital therapist. So welcome and thank you for joining us. And the interview is concerning now the structural heart disease and the structural heart percutaneous interventions. No? So my first question is, I like to be in context, the structural heart disease and the structural percutaneous interventions is a growing market, no? Where Medtronic obviously is a key player. No? So my question is, which are the main Medtronic strategy pillars in this field, in the structural heart disease, and especially the therapies?
Dr. Macaya, thank you. First of all, hello and thank you to welcome me here in this Madrid area for this fantastic congress. You've been underlining that structural heart is the key element of Medtronic strategy and portfolio, and that's typically the truth. If we go back to what Medtronic is having as his first three pillars, it is alleviate pain, restore life, and extend life. So everything that is surrounding that is including in the Medtronic strategy. In Medtronic, we have four big areas of therapy. Cardiovascular is one that I'm representing today for TAVI. And as you were underlining it, we are in an area, the TAVI, that has been growing importantly in the last 10 years. I was checking a number just before to come regarding the number of TAVI cases that have been done around the world in the last 10 years, and it's more than 400,000 patients that have been treated with TAVI in the last 10 years. So it's a very, very big area of procedures, and Medtronic is the number one in the world with our competitor Edwards and his valve Sapien. Our goal, of course, is to make a meaningful advancement for patients in this field while bringing patient outcomes that are better and better through clinical studies. And for instance, we are working a lot on our Evolute R platform and Evolute Pro platform on the paravalvular leak. That was an issue of the first generation of the valves, and also to bring to the physicians the most possible safety during the procedure while, for instance, having the recapturability of the valve, that is ensuring the physicians that if he is not totally convinced by the results, he can recapture the valve and replace it in the patients. We in Medtronic, we are strongly believing that what the physicians, your community, the patients, but also the payers are expecting from us is to have better outcomes and to be able to arrive in the markets of today that are very different, not only with a product, but with solutions. Meaning, and you probably have heard about value-based healthcare. And right now, what we are trying to do is to help you to find not only the products, but solutions, including better outcomes for the patients, meaning better outcomes and better cost effectiveness. Because right now, in all over Europe and also all over the world, the ministries of health are always everywhere pushing a lot of pressure around the cost of healthcare that is growing up everywhere. So right now, we are trying to put in place new services, bringing value for the physicians and sharing the risk of the results with the patients.
Okay, thank you. So I think everybody agrees that Medtronic and Edwards, both companies are the market leaders in TAVI, no?
Yeah.
but despite Edwards, I think was the pioneer. No?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the following innovation, it seems to be the mitral. So we change from the aortic to the mitral. So the transcatheter mitral valve implantation, we don't know exactly how we are going to pronounce the TMVI, because we use implantation better than the replacement that is used by the American cardiology.
Yeah, exactly.
So we know that your company is also involved in this field, in the mitral development. So my question is, which are your expectations, and when is it expected to have a commercialized product, for the percutaneous mitral valve implantation? When? Where are you in the development?
Regarding the competition in the world, we are in the group that is ahead of the competition, firstly. We have a platform that is called InterRapid, and we are currently running, and I have the numbers there, we are currently running a pilot study that is including 15 centers in Europe with more than 75 patients that have been included so far. And in the US, 45 centers that have already included 100 patients. And the target is to have 1,600 patients in a randomized study comparing TMVR vs cardiac surgery. And in another arm of the study, comparing non-randomized study on the high-risk patients, sorry. If we compare TMVR to TAVI, we are 10, 15 years ahead. So there has been big changes in the environment regarding the constraint to get the approval in the different markets and the go-to-market approvals. And in the meantime, what we see also, and particularly in Europe, is that the market access is really different from one country to the other, even when we are using the same clinical data from the same studies. And for instance, we have been in the TAVI field, we have been involving Spanish centers in 5 big studies, international studies, but the market penetration in between Spain, Germany, UK, and even the different region of Spain is very different. So for us, the difficulty right now, even in TMVR, is to accelerate market access with the good clinical outcomes. But we are quite confident because we have the good platform. We may also be able to acquire an outside company, as we've done in the past many times, and to reinforce our portfolio and have different platforms to offer to the market. But right now, TMVR is on its way, to answer precisely to your question. I don't think it will arrive in the coming 6 months, nor in the coming 1 or 2 years, because of legal constraints that are really slowing down the process compared to what happened with CoreValve 10 years ago. But it will happen, and we think that the number of patients that will be concerned by this new procedure, this new therapy, will be very important across Europe.
So is there, in this study, which is going on in Europe about the mitral valve implantation, is there any Spanish center involved or not yet?
Not yet, but we are also working on it because we want also to have, and it's also a key to get quicker reimbursement in the different countries. And it's also true on that topic that there is a big change, let's say, in the last 5 years, because 5-10 years ago, it was much more easy to do a study in Europe, on a strong study in Europe, than in the US. And since, let's say, some years, it has changed. And right now, what we see is that for legal reason, for cost effectiveness reason, it is much more complicated to do solid studies in Europe. And we are working on it because we at Medtronic believe that we need to continue to invest heavily in Europe and in the US. The two markets are important, not only the US.
Okay, so finally, it seems that in structural heart disease, Medtronic is only involved in the heart valves, like Evolut, obviously, the Melody in pulmonary, and also the mitral is coming. But my question is, are there other devices for structural heart disease, like the closure devices, that Medtronic is going to be involved or is also involved or is going to develop anything more than the valves?
If we go back to the history of Medtronic, and as Medtronic mission is dedicated to patient and, as I said, alleviate pain, restore health, and extend life, everything that is going in that direction is interesting Medtronic. Then you have two types of development, the product that you are developing from inside, and then the product that you are acquiring in the market. In the last years, we have acquired some important innovations and some that are really concerning heart failure or structural heart environment. And maybe you may have heard about in the left ventricle assistant devices when we acquired 2 or 3 years ago hardware, which is now part of our portfolio. Then some years ago there was also Ardian in the renal denervation side that was at the beginning not a huge success because the clinical data were not so good. Now we are coming back with far better clinical data, and we hope to have in that area also an acceleration of the market penetration and the usage of the procedure by the physicians. But what we can say that we are always looking for opportunities, and Medtronic, who is right now the number one of medtech in the world, and especially in everything related to the heart, because the history of Medtronic is coming back from the pacemaker, and so the heart of Medtronic is in the heart, I should say. So we are always looking for opportunity, and frankly, we could have one in 6 months that I don't know anything about, but that we will choose to acquire because we are always looking for everything that is that may be able to bring better outcomes for the patient. So, and I have a good example on that on the congenital side. Melody has been acquired 10 years ago. It was the first transcatheter valve that was existing in the market, and we have been developing a lot of technology coming from that and ensuring our position in the market because of that technology.
But anything about the left appendix? What do you think will be the future about the closure of the left appendix? Do you think is going to increase, is growing, the closer? But the question is, are you going to buy the company or are you going to develop the device?
We know that in this area things are going to develop, that's for sure. But what Medtronic is going to do as of today, very honestly, I don't know. I know that we are looking. I don't know if we will buy or develop our own product.
So, okay, thank you very much, Mr. Orn, Benoit Orn, and goodbye.
Thank you very much, Dr. Makaya, for the reception and the good questions.
Okay, thanks.